What's up guys, it's Of Daggers and Darkness here again. Now today's topic of this video is modded blasters and should we be modding our gel ball blasters. Now before I get into that, there's a like and subscribe button. I want you guys to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. If you've got any friends that, haven't subbed yet, get them to subscribe for more content. It should be about at least one video per week. Sometimes if I'm extremely busy, it'll be one a fortnight. Or a couple, depending how busy I am. But modded gel blasters. Let's talk about it. Why should we mod a gel blaster? As you can see, I've got a couple of blasters out already. I've got my AK-74U, my Jim Ming Scar, my Magfeed Colt M1911, and my manual Glock, and also my STD Gen 6. So, from the oldest blaster here would be the manual Glock. Now, there is a modification you can do this where you take it apart and increase the spring. So that way when you shoot it, it's got a bit more pressure. Now, if you were going to use a manual Glock in a gel blaster fight in this day and age, they're not that effective because one, it's a hopper fed, so sometimes you have issues with actually feeding the hopper properly. Two, it's manual, so you've got to cock it every time. Compared to even though this shoots slower, I don't have to cock it. So would I modify this to get a bit more power and range out of it? Probably yes. I would probably put a modification spring in, and that's just to get a bit more range and power out of it. Now, we're not talking like, oh, I'm going to get, 300 feet per second out of this. I have no idea what the actual feet per second is this, and it's not that fast. The fact you can see it travel, it's just not that fast. So that would be one reason to modify it, because it's manual, so you're not actually getting a constant receive. You've got to cock it every time. And the power in it is not that amazing. So let's look at the Scar. Now, a lot of people have modified the Scar, and I've heard of it. They put a 480 motor in, and they put an aluminium barrel and a better battery. They do the wiring again, so that way the better motor can use a better battery. Now that's a 7.4 volt with a standard motor, standard barrel. I don't see the point in modifying it. I've used this in multiple games. The fire rate's really good, it works fine. Now, I feel like if you modded it with an 11.1 volt battery, a faster motor, you're probably going to actually go through magazines quicker than you need to, and sometimes when people modify these blasters, they do all the work in the battery and the motor, and then the magazines don't keep up with feeding them. So that's another thing to watch out for. It's like this over here, my AK-74U. Now, people have chucked an 11.1 volt battery in the top, done a motor upgrade, but because of the way the magazine works, it doesn't use a motor, because it uses the plug, it actually doesn't work, because when you pull the trigger, it actually doesn't push the plug fast enough. Well, it has trouble actually keeping up, so that you can't actually modify that with a better motor and, a better motor and actual, battery, because I've seen a couple of people do it, and they've both said it doesn't work. Now, why would you want to modify your Scar? I don't see the point in it. I've used it before. It's perfect the way it is. My STD Gen 6 M4 over here feels like it's already been modified. Now, in the sense comparing to my other blasters, it's got the fire rate changer, it's got the automatic feeder for the magazine, it's got an aluminium barrel, it's got an 11.1 volt battery. I don't know what the motor is, but it works perfectly. I wouldn't go, the motor's not good enough, I've got to chuck a better motor in. That's no point. I've seen so many people buy Vepers, the M4 Veper, which is the Gen 3, like the Scar, and just chuck, I need an aluminium barrel. The only modification I can see the AK and the Scar needing is a better barrel, and just to tighten up the spread on it. That's it. You don't need a better battery, you don't need a better motor, they work perfectly fine. Fire rate on the AK is really nice, fire rate on the Scar is really superb. I don't see why people do it. And here's the other issue for me. I don't believe we should modify blasters apart from very, very old blasters that just don't keep up with today's newer gen blasters. So I'm talking like the KGS, the M1 and M4 and M4 variant 2, so the Gen 1 and Gen 2, that were kind of like the first Magfeed blasters out. So they do run a smaller motor, and I feel like they run a 6 volt battery. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Some people have had 6 volt batteries, some use 7.4, but I can see the point in putting an upgrade in with a better motor and a better battery. But saying that, I don't think you should put a 480 like motor in an 11.1 volt. It's just, I don't see the point. Like, for how old that blaster is, the whole gearbox might shit itself. You know, you've got to upgrade your gearbox, which is a full internal job, which I don't see the point in. And, you know, that's a lot of work when you could just save up and buy a new blaster. Like, I don't get it. Like, this is my sidearm, this is my main now. Like, I don't see why people just don't save up, because all the money you're putting into buying like a $40 for a motor, $20 for a battery, doing this, sometimes paying someone to install it for you, you probably could just buy a better blaster. Like, I know they're hard to get, but you probably could just buy a better blaster in the long run. Now, guys, the other issue I have with modifying blasters is it is unfair. Now, see, if I brought this is just a new gem blaster, and people are like, oh, but you've got the new gem blaster. Yeah, I bought that. Now, I don't think it's fair when people modify, because there is people out there that just don't want to modify their blasters or can't. It's like, if people complain that I buy a new gem blaster and it works a little bit better than their old modified gem blaster, they complain that that's unfair. But what about the person who sits there with like this Scar, let's say a 7.4 volt battery, and he's going up against modded blasters and my old blaster, my new blaster? He's going to feel pretty hard done by, and I don't blame him, because like, this is obviously a new gen blaster and they're using modded blasters. I really don't think we should mod blasters if we don't need to. Blasters that need modifying, M4 M4 version 2, and probably the P90 and the KGS and your manual Glock. Other blasters like that, like the HKs, the MK M2s, the MK M2s, don't need modifying. Just stop people, like, I just wish people would stop doing it. They advertise it. I saw someone did a MP5 modification and was like, hurrah, I got, 250 feet per second out of it. It's super high powered and super fast fire rate. I was only using a 7.1 volt, 7.4 volt battery, but I'm going to chuck a 11.1 volt battery in there. When you hit 250 feet per second with a blaster, it becomes airsoft. Posting that around on social media and stuff like that then basically allows the police to go, you know what? We're going to take that blaster away from you. And I don't see why people will freak out when they do that, because when you post that you're putting more power into a blaster, time and time again, obviously there's going to be an issue. People are going to take stuff away. Stuff's going to get seized. People just need to be smart about it. If you really don't need to modify your blaster, don't do it. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. If you've got a comment on how you think modding blasters should be, and if you think I'm wrong, I mean, I don't care if you think I'm wrong. It's a topic of discussion. A lot of people are like, I don't want to do it. A lot of people don't want to pay to have it done. There's a lot of people that have a lot of different issues. Some people want to do it, some people don't. Just tell me what you think, guys. I'd love to hear the conversation. I'd like to talk about it. I'm on the side that you should only mod the blaster if it's a really old blaster and it needs to do that to keep up with new gen blasters. I don't think we should modify good blasters, like relatively good blasters that are still perfectly fine now, to make them incredibly more powerful and stuff like that. So guys, modifications you can do with your blaster that that people have done, I'll show you on this. Battery upgrade, gearbox and plug upgrade, bearing upgrade, motor upgrade, and then the barrel upgrade. I only think the barrel should be upgraded for a little bit more accuracy. You're not getting more power out, you're just getting a little bit more accuracy in there, and that's it. So guys, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, comment if you've got an idea or you want to comment, and I'll catch you next time.